Welcome back to Switch2Linux. Well, today I just want to take a little bit of time and tell you something that kind of annoyed the bejeebers out of me yesterday. And I'm going to talk today about LibreOffice, particularly LibreWriter, is better than Microsoft Word. Now, I know. Oh, but I use Word and sometimes I get documents I just can't open because they're done in LibreOffice. You know, if a million people say a stupid thing, it's still a stupid thing. And just because Microsoft Office embraced, extended, and extinguished their competitors, particularly in this case, open file document forms, does not mean that their systems are better. Now, I've done a previous video talking about how if you set up your LibreOffice setup correctly, the right fonts, the right defaults, anything that you send should be open just fine. People will not even know you wrote it in LibreOffice. Now, the thing is that I'm not just a basic user of these applications. I'm actually a professional user of them. I'm an author. I have published 2 books that are both completely developed and sent to the printers with LibreWriter. And it can do everything within the scope of what I would easily say 99% of people would need, maybe even greater, 99.9, maybe 99.9 repeating percent, will do everything that Microsoft Office will do. Most of the time, it's exactly the same process. There's a few couple little things that are a little bit problematic, but let me tell you why I wanted to do this. Now, first and foremost, I have 2 writing computers. My main writing computer these days is a Lenovo, and this is a Model S21E, and this guy runs Peppermint, and it is specifically running Peppermint 7. And this is an absolutely amazing operating system. This thing works every bit as snappy with no problems at all as any other system that I run. It is dedicated for the task of writing and formatting books to be sent to the printers. Now, I also have a Microsoft Surface Pro 1 that runs Windows 8.1. Now, of course, the reason I got that, I was still back in mostly using the Windows ecosystem, and as far as the Surface computer is concerned, I really like it, but there's actually a lot of bugs with it. Yes, it's an older version, and yes, it's still running Windows 8, but at the same token, you'd expect it to work a little bit better, particularly half the time it doesn't quite pick up the fact that I have a mouse connected. Half the time I would have to restart the computer because the network modules don't start up. There's times that just messing with the trackpad will cause the computer to go to sleep. I generally have to delete a bunch of drivers, reinstall them every single time. That's the Windows computer in itself. Overall of the 2, Peppermint runs a whole lot better for the simple task of writing Word documents than does the Surface. And by Word documents, I'm reading word processor documents. So this computer, though, when I first got this, I said, you know what? I'm actually going to be a good copyright person, and I'm not going to put my existing copy of Microsoft Office on this. I'm just going to go ahead and use the OpenOffice format. And so when I first started using the Surface, everything was being done with OpenOffice. Now, this computer's a number of years old at this point in time. LibreOffice at that time wasn't quite as well known, particularly for a person that was not in the Linux ecosystem at that point in time. So I used OpenOffice because I knew OpenOffice existed. And so I wrote some of the documents. So of course, OpenOffice defaults to the ODT format. And so I said, oh, that's no big deal. Well, it got to the time of formatting my first book, and this was before I did the formatting personally, and I'm sending it out to a publisher. And they're like, well, give us Microsoft Office format or a PDF format or something. Actually, I think they required Microsoft Office format, or I think they might have accepted an ODT as well. I don't remember, but I said, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and put just the Word portion on this to get everything all in that Microsoft Office format and send it out. No big deal. Well, nowadays that I'm writing and producing everything, I still do a little bit of writing on this computer, although that is sort of being phased out, mostly because there is a book that is still in final development that I started on this guy that I really wasn't using Linux for everything at that point in time. Now that is now over here because it's to the formatting stage and I will only format it on LibreOffice. And which, by the way, I put this up to LibreOffice 6, just so I have the latest one of those. All right. But what ends up happening is, why is Writer better than Word? Well, because Writer will open everything, Word does not. So I have a Nextcloud instance that I use with a co-author on one of the other articles, and he went ahead and did all his thing, and the essay was perfect. We checked it online. He did all the editing on my online Calibora instance, so he got everything done and edited, and so now it's time to integrate that in, and so I downloaded it onto this computer where we have the rest of our manuscript portions, and I said, well, you know what, I'm sick of it opening in OpenOffice if it's an ODT, and in Microsoft Office if it's not. So I said, well, let's just go ahead and reformat the system to open ODTs in Microsoft Office as well, and unfortunately I get this issue. So when I go to open the document, it won't even open a document right now, hold on. Because Windows 8 sucks. All right, so if I go to open the document and I open the document with Microsoft Office, it will actually completely refuse to open it. Now, of course, every document that you attempt to open in Microsoft Office that is a ODT file, they give you this scary looking warning, okay? And it's basically, it can't open XML file for the document name because there is a problem with the contents. Is there a problem with the contents? No, there is not. It is simply that Microsoft Office, through its Embrace, Extend, Extinguish, wants to push everybody into their paid proprietary format, the docx file. So generally, if you push OK, it's going to open the document just fine. In this case, it says it found unreadable content in the document name. Do you want to recover the contents of the document? If you trust the document, click yes. That is also what you always get. In this case, if I click to recover it, it says it can't open it because there's problems. Details, it can't open the file because parts of it are missing or invalid. So is this file missing or invalid? Well, the answer to that question is no. Because if I actually open this guy up in OpenOffice, it opens up just fine. So let's go ahead and open it this time with OpenOffice Writer. And hey, OpenOffice Writer opens the thing, no problems at all. So I looked over the document. There's really no issues. If I go and file, save the document as, let's see if I save it as a docx, if it will work. Can this version even save as a docx? Now, this is an older version of Writer, so it can't even save as a docx. Let's go with the newest one is the Office XP. Let's save that. Okay, now that we have the document as a document file, no problems whatsoever. Simply because Microsoft Office wants you to open the document in their own proprietary format. Okay? So when you're working with Writer and someone sits here and says, well, I use Office because it's better. No, it's not. It's worse. Because Writer can open a document, whether it's written in Microsoft Office without any quibbles. It can open a document that is an ODT. It can open a document that's an RTF. It can open a document that's a text file. It can open everything dealing with word processing. Word wants to restrict you down to their proprietary format, even though the file works perfectly fine. No problems, no issues, no whatsoevers. Okay? If I go over to LibreOffice, though, and I'll come over here to LibreOffice, and let me just grab the manuscript that I have originally written in the docx format. Actually, I don't think I have the complete one, do I? No, I don't have the complete one. I've made the complete file over here. So we'll just go ahead and open up any old one, which this is over here. This is the book that is currently in formatting. And it says, I'm just going to open up Chapter 1, which was written on the Windows 8 computer in a docx format. Open this guy up in LibreOffice 6, and it's going to open with 0 problems whatsoever. All formatting is retained. Of course, I do not have the Calibri font installed on this computer, so it still looks the same. It's just if I were to edit the fonts or anything, it would have to change. All my footnotes and all my endnotes are working perfectly fine. There should be a footnote here somewhere. So there's a footnote right there. So LibreOffice actually does this right. It will open a document file. It will open an ODT. It will open whatever. In fact, let's go ahead and try and open this file, which means I'm going to have to log into my cloud instance here. And let's go ahead and see, does LibreOffice have a problem with the ODT file that this other computer doesn't like? Let's just have a quick look. That would be a fun question to ask. Okay, we need to go into the current book. We need to go into the book directory. We need to go into Chapter 6, and I need to grab this document, and let's go ahead and download the file. We're just going to go ahead and open the file directly in LibreOffice. Whoa! It opens just fine. So obviously the file is not corrupted. It's not insecure. It's not, oh my god, it's scary. It wasn't working in the docx format. Okay, guys, this is the thing. Microsoft Office is trying to get you into their own proprietary ecosystem, their own proprietary file format, and their own proprietary paid software, when LibreOffice can do absolutely everything you can do with Microsoft Office. I don't have these issues with LibreOffice. Particularly, we're looking at the LibreWriter program today. So when you sit here and say, oh, it just doesn't work as well. No, the one that doesn't work as well is Microsoft Word. I don't care if more people use Microsoft Word. The fact of the matter is, LibreOffice will open documents that Microsoft Office will not. Because Microsoft Office doesn't want you using the ODT file format, which is the open document file. Okay? So all that being said, put together, LibreOffice is a superior office suite to Microsoft Office. And all you need to do, install the fonts. If you're interfacing regularly with Microsoft Office people, we unfortunately have to take the extra step to make sure we're sending a docx file to somebody so their system will open it without being fraught with scary things or even worse, unopenable files. It has nothing to do with the Office software itself. It has to do with the fact that Microsoft Office does not want you using those formats. So keep that in mind. I will encourage you to use LibreOffice everywhere that you possibly can. If you are finding yourself having to send documents to people who only have Word, then you can set LibreOffice to on default so you don't forget save as a docx file. You can do that. No big deal. With that being said, hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully my little rant was helpful for you. That's something that frustrated me this week because I was trying to get this document over here. Unfortunately, I still have OpenOffice installed on this computer so I can actually open the document and integrate it into our manuscript. But I'll tell you what, man, this computer is probably going to be wiped of Windows 8 when we're done formatting these because I'm about sick of it not working right. That's about it. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Switched2Linux. If you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links at the top. There is another video over here. You can check out our Patreon page down here. And you can check out shop.switchedtolinux.com for information on a t-shirt like this or some other designs. Thanks for watching and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.